Hey guys, Sketchy here, back with another episode of my Dragon Warrior playthrough on the Game Boy Color. Now, last time I ended with me dying. I had gone a little too far to I believe it's the west? Yes, the west, northwest, and then down around. Basically ended up sort of where I'm gonna wander over here. And in this episode, I'm gonna actually go exploring the other direction. Now, I start off here by just going down to the side, seeing if there's anything in this direction that I missed. And all I really find out is that I had basically walked all the way around these mountains and ended up right next to the start of the game, except there's, of course, the mountains in between. So we're going to just walk around here, deal with all the enemies that I come through. I don't believe I felt a need to run away at all at this early point of the game, which you really shouldn't need to. It's relatively easy, and in this game there is little to no cost of dying. The only real issue that I remember is just having to walk all the way back around. So I'm going to come down here, keep fighting every little thing that I might see. Now, I did cross a bridge, so this is going to be a slightly more challenging area, but I believe this is the way I was supposed to go. I think this is the direction that they intend you to go first, and this means that the enemies are going to be a little easier. I don't know why I'm paused here. I was doing something. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but there's someone doing yard work outside, so you might hear that in the background. So the overall goal to this game, other than beating the Draco Lord, the way to do that best is to find all of the items. I believe there's 4. There might just be 3, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I believe there's only 3 or 4. So we're gonna be trying to find those. For the most part, I'm just gonna be sticking with the bought items. I think those are the main ones, because it takes a long time for you to find Lotto's sword, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna see some lava here, and I think I just ignore it. Not in any real mood to go swimming through the pools of lava to find what I'm assuming is really nothing on the other side. If there is something, I will probably find it later. So we cross another bridge, and this basically brings us to a area that is on par with where we died, but not quite the same difficulty. It is going to be minutely easier, but well within my ability range at this point in the game. So we go up here, fighting all the little Drakis on our way, which is the first sign that this area that I'm going through isn't that difficult. I'm still fighting Drakis, which are also appearing right at the start of the game. So come up here, and this is a place that I am going to need to return to because, as I mentioned briefly, I didn't know about the harp. I saw someone mention it, but I didn't notice it until watching it back through and doing my first commentary. Now, I may be completely wrong, but I believe the shiny harp is in... I can't remember the name. The only name that comes to mind is Gearhan, but I'm 99% certain that's not the name of that little town. I'm watching it and I'm realizing it's a very good thing that this is a low quality game to begin with, because my recording software, what I'm using to record, is not very good. Need to look into that, especially when I get to the better games, the higher quality games, where this will be far more noticeable. That is something I do intend to do. I'm pretty sure I already mentioned it, but I do want to play through and record the entire series, because there are a couple games that I haven't played. I don't intend to do the Monster series, solely for the fact that those involve a lot more grinding. This game, you do have the issue of grinding a little bit, but in the Monsters games, you grind and you farm and you level up your monsters, but then you gotta level them up some more, because you gotta breed them, and that drops them back down to level 1, and then you breed it back up to the next level. So I'm probably gonna avoid those. I'm probably just gonna stick with the core series. Now, I do know that this version of the game is slightly easier than the console or the original console version, and I remember that because I noticed that because I played for a short time on the mobile version, which was just a port of the original version, and that was kicking my tail at the beginning. It's a bit depressing when a slime kicks your ass. So I'm going to come around here, talk to everyone, try and get as much information as I can. Even though, while playing and while recording, I'm not actually watching most of what they're saying, which is something I actually should be doing. Oh. So Romalder is the place that sells keys. That is a very important place because it allows you to buy keys from other places, which will take me some time to get to. I'm not exactly sure where it is. Got a nice little cloth armor in there. That's next to nothing, and I'm probably going to sell it. But I do find a strength seed. That will be useful. See, in this game, items like that are far more useful to me because I have this issue where I hold on to things until I think I need them. I mentioned that earlier with my MP, where I don't cast any spells. And I don't want to spend money on her. I might need to, and I don't know. Now, I have to wonder why this guy has lava around his little hut. Because what he tells me is not worth it. I don't know why I didn't take the shortcut, or the path of least resistance, the little 1 block. But I did. After my first step out, I find a mage drakey, which takes 2 hits, but nothing too difficult. So if you notice, I accidentally stepped out before exploring the little side area, so I'm going to go back into town, go look around at that. So that is Remolder, that's where the keys are going to be. And I'll need to pick those up pretty quickly because there's a lot of doors that need keys in this game. As opposed to the other games where you can get up to, I think it's 3 keys. Depends on the game. But there's almost always the magic key, which obviously opens up magic doors. Then there's the final key, which opens up pretty much every other door in the game. And some games do have the thief key, which opens up a few more doors, usually minor unimportant ones. But this game, you just have to buy keys. Kill a magician. Can't remember if that's the first one I've seen of those. Actually, no, I can guarantee it isn't. Find scorpions. These are a little tankier than most enemies at this point in the game, but they have low health. They just have a relatively high armor. Gonna do a lap around this place, make sure that I haven't missed anything else, because I'm fairly certain that this point is when I decide to start grinding. Because I know this town has the iron armor and the iron hand axe. Or just the iron axe. Which are great improvements off of what I'm currently using. Which is already doing work. But before I do that, I am going to explore down to the south. Walk over here because I had already forgotten where that was, what that path led to. And just try and find somewhere else. Because the town that has nothing happening in it really is just not one I want to stay in. I know I am going to have to buy all the stuff there, but if it doesn't progress the story, why am I here? Which, now that I think about it, unless I'm missing something later, a couple of these towns do have very little to do. But it is one of the early games, and it is more realistic. Most towns don't have anything to do with what you're doing. So, that's something to keep in mind. Although I think later on in the series, there isn't just towns for the sake of towns to heal you up and such. Here I use sleep, not lose sleep. I do that on my own time. So we're gonna get another spell that I am probably never going to use. That's one of those things about me. I don't like using support abilities. Now I'm okay with buff. What are the other ones? Basically, increase defense, increase attack, increase speed, and then I will lower the enemy's defense. But other than that, I don't mess around with like poison or sleep or anything like that. Come down here and I notice that I don't have any keys. Now, I don't know if I have Radiant at this point, but I know at this point I didn't even know that Radiant was able to be used outside of combat. That's about here. I've realized there's nothing much else I can do right now. I will have to go buy a torch. But after this point, it's basically me just looking for a good spot to farm. I do settle on right outside of the town. That's probably the best possible place because it does have terrain features which still fairly certain increase the amount of encounters. I'm going to come inside and check exactly how much I'm going to need. Or I'm going to walk up here and I don't know where this goes. I think I just decided I might as well start. No? What am I doing? One of the problems with post commentary is that if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to talk about things that don't matter. So I do come in and I rest at the inn, so that I can begin. And all of those words rhymed. Oh, good lord. So right here I'm about to transition, and this is coming back after a little bit of grinding. I have 1100 gold. And I use an herb there, saving me a little MP, even though I am just going to walk right back into town. I could have rested at the inn, but I don't believe I do. I am, however, going to come to the store and buy the axe. The steel armor is still about 3,000 gold out of my reach. So I'll take care of it. I'll get that later. And by later I mean, at least according to this video, a few seconds later, because we're going to transition back to after I've grinded for a little bit. Got 3,000 gold there. Come back into town. And buy me some armor. So I'm fairly certain this is about where my episode ends. Just like to thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, dislike, whatever you feel like. Leave a comment. Any support would be necessary. I take all manners of advice. And I would love to see your guys' feedback. So I'm going to walk out to the center here. And again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. And until then, game on.